Welcome to the 1000 Nights and 1 Night. And when it was the 49th night, she said, It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that the damsel ceased not to drink and ply Sharrkan with drink till he took leave of his wits, for the wine and the intoxication of love he bore her. Presently she said to the slave girl, O Marjana, bring us some instruments of music. To hear is to obey, said the handmaid, and going out returned to the twinkling of an eye with a Damascus lute, a Persian harp, a Tartar pipe, and an Egyptian dulcimer. The young lady took the lute, and after tuning each several string, began in gentle undersong to sing, softer than the zephyr's wing, and sweeter than Tasman's spring, with heart safe and secure from everything. Thereupon each and every of the maidens rose up, and taking an instrument, played and recited couplets in the Rumini tongue that their mistress sang also, and seized Sharrkan in ecstasies, asked him, O Moslem, dost thou understand what I say? And he answered, Nay, my ecstasy cometh from the beauty of thy fingertips. She laughed, and continued, If I sing to thee in Arabic, what wouldst thou do? I should no longer be master of my senses, quoth he. Then she took an instrument, and changing the measure, began singing these verses. The smack of parting's myrrh to me, how then bear patience, aloe? I'm girt by ills and trinity, severance, distance, cruelty. My freedom stole that fairest she, and parting irks me bitterly. When she ended her verse, she looked at Sharrkan and found him lost to existence, and he lay for a while stretched at full length and prone among the maidens. Then he revived, and remembering the songs again, inclined to mirth and merriment, and the twain returned to their wine and wassail, and continued their playing and toying, their pastime and pleasure till day ceased illuminating, and night drooped her wing. Then the damsel went off to her dormitory, and when Sharrkan asked after her, they answered, She's gone to her sleeping chamber. Whereto he rejoined, Under Allah's ward and his good guard. As soon as it was morning, a handmaiden came to him and said to him, My mistress biddeth thee to her. So he rose, and he followed her, and as he drew near her lodging, the damsels welcomed him with smitten tabrets and songs of greeting, and led him through a great door of ivory studded with pearls and jewels. Thence they passed with him into a tall and spacious hall, at the upper end of which was a wide dais, carpeted with all kinds of silk, and rounded open lattices commanding a view of trees and streams. Above the saloon were figures carved in human form and fashioned on such wise that the air passed through them and set in motion musical instruments wherein, so that the beholder would fancy they spoke. Here sat the young lady, looking at the figures, but when she saw Sharrkan, she sprang to her feet, and taking him by the hand, made him sit down by her side, and asked him how he had passed the night. He blessed her, and the two sat talking a while, till she asked him, Knowest thou aught touching lovers and slaves of love? And he answered, Yes, I wot somewhat in verse on that matter. Let me hear it, quoth she. So he began quoting, Pleasure and health, good cheer, good appetite, to Azza freest with our name and fame. By Allah, would I near her off her flies, at tangent granting less, the more I claim. I dote on Azza, but when clear I off, my rivals clear me too, that dearest dame, like wandering wight, that chose for shade a cloud, which ere siesta done, thin air became. When she heard this, she said, Verily, Al-Kuthayar was conspicuous for sweet speech and chaste, and he was superlative in his praise of Azza when he sang. And she began to recite, Did Azzadil behest to son al-Nu-uman, the judge had judged her beauty's bestest boon, and girls who come to me and carpet her, God made their rosy cheeks her sandal shoon. And indeed, quoth she, 'twas that Azza boasted exceedingly beauty and loveliness. Then she asked Sharrkan, saying, O Prince, dost thou know aught of Jamil's verses of Buthinya? If so, repeat to us some one of them. He answered, Yes, I know them better than any, whereupon he began repeating these couplets. Jamal, in holy war go fight. To me they say, what war? Say fight for fair ones would I e'er essay. To me their every word and work are mere delight, and martyrs clep, aye, all they slay in fight and fray. And I ask, oh, Buthanya, what's this love, I pray, which eats my heart? Quoth she, 'twill stay for ever and aye. And when I cry, of wits return some small display, for quoth she, far, far 'tis fled away. Thou seest my death, naught else thy will can satisfy, while I no goal see save thee, and thee alway. Thou hast spoken right well, said she, O king's son, and Jamil also spoke exceedingly well. But what would Buthanya have done with him that he saith in his hemstitch, Thou seekest my death, naught else thy will can satisfy? Oh, my lady, quoth Sharrkan, she will to do him what thou willest to do with me, and even that will not satisfy thee. She laughed at this opportune reply, and they ceased not carousing till day put out her light, and night came in darkest night. Then she rose and went to her dormitory and slept, while Sharrkan slept in his place till morning dawned. As soon as he awoke, the handmaids came to him with tabrets and other instruments of mirth and merriment as wont, and kissing the ground between his hands, said to him, Bismillah, in Allah's name, be so kind as to come. Our mistress biddeth thee to her presence. So he rose, and he accompanied the slave girls who surrounded him, playing on tabrets and other instruments of music, till they passed from the saloon into another, and yet more spacious hall, decorated with pictured likenesses and figures of birds and beasts, passing all description. Sharrkan marveled at the art and the artifice of the place, and began reciting. He plucked fruit of her necklace in rivalry, and her breast pearls that beaded in gold mine lie pure water on silvern bars as her brow, and her cheeks show roses with rubies by. Meseems in her eyne that the violet's hue lies purpling set in the ithmid's dye. When the lady saw Sharrkan, she stood up to him in honor, and taking his hand, seated him by her side, and asked, O son of King Omar bin al-Nu-uman, hast thou any cunning in the game of chess? Yes, he answered, but do not thou with me, as said the poet. I speak, and longing love upties me and unties me, till with her honey dew of inner lips she plies me. I brought the chessboard, and my lifeless lover plays me with white and black, but black cum white ne'er satisfies me. 'Twas if king for castle I were fain to place me, 'twill wilful loss of game atwixt two queens surprises me. And if I seek to read intent in eyes that eye on, O man, that glance askance with hint of wish defies me. Then she brought the chessboard and played with him, but Sharrkan, instead of looking at her moves, kept gazing at her fair mouth, and putting knight in place of elephant, and elephant in place of knight. She laughed and said to him, If thy play be after this fashion, thou knowest naught of this game. This is only our first, replied he. Judge not by this bout. When she beat him, he replaced the pieces in position and played again, but she beat him a second time, and a third time, and a fourth, and a fifth. So she turned to him and said, Thou art beaten in everything. And he replied, O my lady, how should one playing with the like of thee avoid being beaten? Then she bade bring food, and they ate and washed their hands, after which the wine was set before them, and they drank. Presently she took the dulcimer, for her hand was cunning in smiting it, and she began repeating to an accompaniment these couplets. Twixt the closed tide and open wide no medium. Fortune knoweth now ebb and flow, then flow and ebb this wise her likeness showeth. Then drink her wine, the sign she thine, and smiling thou dost find her. Anon she fall and fare away with all thy good forthgoeth. They ceased not to carouse till nightfall, and this day was pleasanter even than the first. When darkness set in, the lady betook her to her dormitory, leaving him alone with the handmaids. So he threw himself on the ground and slept till dawn, when the damsel came to him with tambourines and other instruments according to custom. Seeing them, he roused him hastily and sat up, and they carried him to their mistress, who came to meet him, and taking him by the hand, seated him by her side. Then she asked him how he had passed his night, whereat he prayed that her life be long and prolonged, and that she took the lute and sang to it these verses, which she improvised. Ne'er incline thee to part, which embitters the heart. E'en the sun when it sets shall in pallor depart. While they were solacing themselves after this fashion, behold, there arose a great and sudden clamor, and a confused crowd of knights and men rushed in, holding drawn swords, and glittered and gleamed in their hands, and cried aloud in the Grecian tongue, "Thou hast fallen into our hands, O Sharrkan, so make thee sure of thy death." When he heard this, he said to himself, "By Allah, she hath entrapped me and held me in play till her men should come. These are the knights with whom she threatened me, but 'tis I who have thrown myself into this strait." Then he turned towards the young lady to reproach her, but she saw that she had changed color, and her face was pale, and she sprang to her feet and asked the crowd, "Who are ye?" "Oh, most gracious princess and perilous union pearl," answered the leading knight, "dost thou weet who is yon man by thy side?" "Not I," she replied. "Who may he be?" Quoth the patrician, "This is of towns the highwayman. This is he who rideth in the horseman's van. This is Sharrkan, son of King Omar bin al-Nu-uman. This is he that forceth fortalice and penetrateth every impregnable place. This news of him hath King Hardub thy father by report of the ancient dame Zat Adwali, and thy sire, our sovereign, hath made sure that thou hast rendered good service to the army of the Greeks by taking captive this ominous lion." When she heard this, she looked at the knight and asked him, "What be thy name?" And he answered, "I am Masara, son of thy slave Masara bin Kash-Adah, knight of knights." "And how," quoth she, "dost thou enter my presence without leave?" He quoth, "O my lady, when I came to the gate, none forbade me, neither chamberlain nor porter, but all the doorkeepers rose and forth went us on wont, although when others came, thy leaving them standing at the gate while they asked permission to admit them. But this is not a time for long talking, when the king is expecting our return with this prince, the scorpion sting of the Ismaitic host, that he may kill him and drive back his men whether they came, without the bane of battle with them." "These words will be ill words," rejoined the princess. "And Dame Zat Adwali lied, avouching an idle thing and a vain, whereof she weeteth not the truth. For by the virtue of the Messiah, this man who is with me is not Sharrkan, nor is he a captive, but a stranger, who came to us seeking hospitality, and I made him my guest. So even were we assured that this be Sharrkan, and were it proved to us that it is he beyond a doubt, I say it would ill befit mine honor that I should deliver him into your hands, one who hath entered under my protection. So make me not a traitor to my guest, and a disgrace among men, but return to the king my father, and kiss the ground before him, and inform him that the case is contrariwise to the report of Lady Zat Adwali." "Oh, Abriza," replied Masara, the knight, "I cannot return to the king's majesty without his debtor and enemy," quoth she, and indeed she had waxed very wroth. "Out on thee! Return to him with my answer, and no blame shall befall thee." Quoth Masara, "I will not return without him." Thereupon her color changed, and she exclaimed, "Exceed not in talk and vain words, for verily this man had not come into us, were he not assured that he could of himself, and single-handed, make head against 100 riders. And if I said to him, 'Thou art Sharrkan, son of King Omar bin al-Nu-uman,' he would answer, 'Yes.' But 'tis not of your competence to let or hinder him, for if you do, he will not turn back from you till he hath slain all that are in this place. Behold, here he is by my side, and I will bring him before you, sword and targe in hand. Albeit I were safe from thy wrath, answered Masra the knight, I am not safe from that of thy father, and when I see him I shall sign to the knights to take him captive, and we will carry him to the king bound and in abject sort. When she heard this, she said, The matter shall not pass thus, for 'twould be blazoning mere folly. This man is but one, and ye are 100 knights. So if you would attack him, come out against him, one after one, that it may appear to the king which is the valiant amongst you. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of the day, and ceased to say her permitted say. And so do I cease to do more reading until it be morrow.